Hi there, it's Andrew Eborn here with the Andrew Eborn Show, and I'm delighted that my regular guest, the wonderful radio laureate himself, Mike Read. How are you doing, Mike?
Very good, thank you. Yeah, very good as always, yeah.
Always a thrill. Well, you're on a new station now, which I love, all about motorsports, so a lot of inspiration from the world of motorsports. Tell us about today's poem.
Well, when I was a kid in the local paper, Percy Lambert, who crashed on the Brooklands track trying to break his own world record, was always in the paper. He said, Percy's been seen again. And his ghost was seen so many times. So I grew up knowing him, and recently we were talking about doing something commemorating Percy. And I thought, I'll do a little poem for him, because he broke the world record in 1913. He was the first man in the history of the world to drive 100 miles in 1 hour. As with all records, as we know, they're soon broken. Roger Bannister runs a sub 4-minute mile. About a month later, John Landy does it in Australia. Suddenly, after all that time, and then it's achievable. Mentally, they know we can do it. So his record in his Talbot was broken, and he wanted to have another go. And his fiancée was due to get married 2 weeks later. His fiancée said, no, please don't. And he said, no, I just want to have one more crack at it to get back the world record. His tyre disintegrated near the end, although he'd set up a really good, I think he was doing about 110 miles in an hour was his average. The tyre disintegrated, went over the top, and he died on his way to Weybridge Cottage Hospital later in 1913. So, yeah, I've done the poem to Percy and his ghost and his legacy.
Poem, The Percy and His Legacy. Over to you, Radio Laureate.
Percy Lambert. So many times his ghost's been seen, amidst a cloud of smoke and steam, a spectral shape in racing green. There goes Percy Lambert. The fastest men could go, of course, for centuries was on a horse. But then came motorsport's tour de force, the incredible Percy Lambert. In February 1913, just for the crack, he took to the Brooklands racing track. No team of mechanics, he was on his jack. Good luck, Percy Lambert. Foot to the floor, giving it some power, ignoring a passing February shower, he was the first man to drive 100 miles in an hour. Well done, Percy Lambert. 6 months later, another go. His fiancée pleaded, Percy, no. He said, I want the world record back from Peugeot. Single-minded Percy Lambert. Percy wanted to be first, but after 20 laps a tyre burst, and each spectator feared the worst. The last race for Percy Lambert. Driving on the Brooklands wall of death as Percy drew his final breath, I'll drive this car till the end of time, saith the ghost of Percy Lambert.
That's so sad, isn't it? Because people have kept on being pushed more and more and more. And you're right, as soon as one record's been broken, that's the challenge to break it again.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And they broke it quickly, like anything. When there's a record, right, we can do this, and suddenly they get broken quite quickly after that. It's interesting, you know. And now a lot of racers, who doesn't run a sub 4-minute mile? And before Roger Bannister, who could run a sub 4-minute mile? Yeah.
And Percy Lambert himself, he was quite an extraordinary chap because he used to run a car dealership or something, didn't he, near Westminster, selling Singers and Austins and exciting things like that.
He did, yeah. He and his brother Herbert had that. And then they moved out to Kingston, I think, and they ran it from Kingston. But the two of them did this in their spare time. They created their own car company, the Lambert Car Company. Had he survived, I don't know what would have happened, because there was a Lambert Car Company in the States as well, so they may have had a problem. But the car he did it in was a Talbot. Yeah, they had a dealership in London, and then they moved out to Kingston. And I think Herbert probably ran it for many years, and they were taken over by somebody there for a long time, probably until the 50s.
Fantastic. Well, remembering him, Percy Lambert, thank you so much, Radio Laureate Mike Read. Thank you.
Pleasure.